Alrighty, so we're back for this week's episode of Insurance Toolkits, whatever week it is released. I'm excited to have another big name on our podcast today. I'm going to give Brad a chance to introduce himself, as no introduction I have will be worthy of it. So Brad, say hi and let the folks know who you are.
What's going on? Apparently I'm a big name. So do I really even need to let them know who I am, or do they already know? Or are you just being nice? Because I didn't know I was a big name, but I appreciate it, man. My name is Brad, and mainly focused in under 65 for a long time, although have done a lot of diversification recently. Just love the entrepreneurial playground that the insurance world is. And so you'd asked me to be on this podcast. We're week 1 of AEP, so we're slamming, but no place I'd rather be, man. I've gotten away from some of the content, so I appreciate the opportunity to jump on here with you guys.
Absolutely. So give us a little bit about your background in the business, how you got into it, just a few minutes about your starting in the business.
Yeah, man, and I'm like losing my voice, so I apologize. I've been drinking water like crazy. Doing a lot of talking this week, obviously, but my background is actually construction, manual labor, no college. You know, I wouldn't say like, I was dumb, but I wasn't the smartest kid in school. Didn't really try hard. Just always knew I was going to do something like firefighter or, manual labor, construction, whatever. And through a miraculous series of events, like often you hear in the insurance industry, nobody like woke up and decided they wanted to, or nobody like, grew up and wanted to be an insurance agent. We all just somehow tripped and fell into it. My wife, then girlfriend, basically just wanted me to get a damn job because I was golfing a lot, not doing a whole lot, and had a little business that was making me a little bit of money. I wouldn't say I was an entrepreneur, wouldn't say I was a good business operator by any means, but otherwise my girlfriend at the time wouldn't be, trying to get me a job. But she said, you should sell insurance. And I said, no way. A couple of times actually, and went to an event. That's why I am passionate about events. I love getting around people that, are doing well in the industry and, networking. But I went to an event, saw a bunch of young people, not at all like I pictured, suit and tie, smelling like cigarette smoke, briefcase, knocking door to door, like that kind of insurance agent. These were like young, cool people. And I've always felt like when I see somebody doing something, not like professional sports on TV, but like when I see somebody doing something and I can relate, I feel like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. So had that aha moment and made the decision to jump in after going to an event and meeting some cool people.
Awesome. Joe, I don't know if this is a deliberate subliminal hint that you want the Yankees to win against the Astros, but unfortunately it is not going well so far. Joe, we love events. I think I'm here because I go to events just on our behalf sometimes, but I love them just like Brad does. Do you kind of see the same thing, that sometimes when you see that there's a thing that you can do or somebody else is doing, it shows that there's proof of concept?
Yeah, it does. And actually, I have my Insurance Sucks shirt sitting over there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
baby.
I could try to grab it, but yeah, you got
keep the Yankees shirt on because I'm going to bet them again tonight for the 3rd time in a row. Because there's no way that they lose 3 times in a row, right? Like
that's what I tell myself. My FanDuel account says otherwise.
Dude, brutal. Took a slaughtering yesterday as well. But yeah, man, Insurance Sucks t-shirts. I got to get another round of those going out. Yeah, all the content, all that stuff has kind of died off a little bit with some stuff I've had going on. It's still, still pushing it. Still love that brand. Still see people using it too. But you got one of the OG t-shirts, baby. We don't have any more of those. We got to retire that one.
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. Tell us your breakthrough moment, like when it all clicked for you, when you figured out, all right, I've done it 100 times. Now I get it. Now I can do it. Now I think I'm stuck in this business for the long term. So what was your breakthrough moment in the business?
Man, I would love to say that that there was just one, but I think that constantly when you're achieving new levels of success, and by the way, I feel like I've only scratched the surface. So I'm not saying I've achieved a massive level of success. I'm just saying that as you elevate and get to that next level, I think there's always kind of an aha moment. And I've had a ton of them, and I've had a ton of them just recently even. But I think the biggest aha moment, in fact, I was telling this to some of the agents yesterday. One of my biggest strong suits, I think, is that I've always been able to have one eye, like one eye. I was focused on production, right? Which obviously is how you make money. Okay. In this business, focused on production, but I had enough, I don't know, like brain power. I guess that's probably not true. I had enough like foresight to, pay attention to the industry, to different business models, to different verticals, to recruiting, to all of these additional things that I think come together to make, kind of a 5-tool insurance agency owner, not just an agent, but like somebody that can sell at a high level, recruit at a high level, train recruits how to sell at a high level, negotiate, operate a business. Those are like tools that you need if you're going to be a business owner or an agency owner in this business. I think that was my aha moment when I started writing a lot of business, to be able to kind of put that on autopilot and say, all right, I'm going to still write $1 million in premium this year. But while I'm doing that, okay, because I'm going to use 75% effort to do that, I could just write at 100% and, kill myself just producing and never learn anything about the industry and never learn anything about contracts, never learn anything about technology. Come on, somebody, technology. I can never pay attention to any of that shit, write a bunch of business, make a bunch of money, and, burn out, which I see far too often. I talk to people who they're writing a ton of business, but like, what do you actually even know about the insurance industry, your business? And it's unfortunate, but it's a huge opportunity for folks like me and you guys who pay attention.
Yeah, I think technology is important. We're actually a technology company doing the podcast, so
No
obviously
kidding, right?
we're all on the same page with that.
Right.
Colton, question that he kind of answered already, I'm curious your perspective on, is with all the exciting things out there, why do agents give up? And then I'm going to get Brad's answer on that as well.
I think because it doesn't come as quick as they thought it would. I think that kind of sums it up. When you're a new agent that's, maybe kind of lost, or maybe you're looking for something new. I think that when you surround yourself with people who are successful on a higher level, especially in the agency side, you see what they're doing, you see what they have, you see the lifestyle they live. And when you don't get that in 3 days, then most people just quit, So I think that people don't have the tenacity to see past like next week.
Yeah, I think giving up is an early phase problem. Burnout is a mid-career problem. Brad, why do people burn out in the business? Is it that they're not thinking ahead? They're not looking at new options. They're not keeping the business fresh. Where do you think burnout comes from?
Yeah, I mean, quitting too soon is one thing, right? I mean, that comes from more than likely not a lack of success, and then not being that type of person who doesn't give up, right? Like it doesn't quit. But the burnout can come from all kinds of things, and you can have massive success but still experience burnout. And I think that you've got to, I think where it comes from would be, simply, not looking ahead, and being so caught up in the day-to-day working in your business and not on it. We've all been there. I mean, I've experienced burnout multiple times. I have 3 agencies at this point. I think all of those agencies kind of stemmed out of a little burnout with one, and a little pivot to another, right? And it just keeps things fresh and exciting. But also, I'm not the type of person that gives up. So I didn't quit on any of those agencies. It wasn't like this agency wasn't working well, so started another one. 3 different business models, 3 different verticals, 3 different, strategies, and 3 different agencies. So that's kind of the way that I've overcome burnout. So I hope that answers your question. Basically, burnout, I think, comes from not looking ahead, not paying attention, and being stuck in the day-to-day. But what you do to get out of that burnout phase, for me, it's just, honestly, it's just put me into the corner, put my back against the wall, start another agency, get something to where I have to fight my way out, or, achieve my way out, or whatever, whether that be like, taking on a large payroll, right? Hiring employees, whether that be leasing a new office space or whatever, investing heavily into a new company.
Joe, as Toolkit innovates and grows and stays aggressive and the market continues to vomit out new products like it's got a new virus, it's important to stay ahead of stuff that we're learning as well. What do you think keeps you from burning out when there's so much to do and so much to stay ahead of?
First, I found my shirt. My
Yeah,
shirt
baby.
to make it suck
Let's
less.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Definitely have to run another print of those for sure.
Yeah, those are good shirts. But yeah. So I think we try to focus on new things all the time. Like we're looking into ACA right now, and on that note, like this morning, Health Sherpa took a massive crap, so it's like completely unusable basically, and it has been for the past few hours.
Every other
A lot
day.
a lot of the tech that we rely on is pretty awful. So that's kind of how we look at it, is we can improve the experience for agents who otherwise rely on these tools to, because I mean you can use the carrier's tools, but who's really using the carrier's tools to enroll ACA? Everyone's using Health Sherpa. So
100%. And by the way, shout out to Final Expense Toolkits, because we and I can't divulge too much. That's another shout out to Final Expense Toolkits by the dog. But I can't divulge too much information because we haven't rolled a ton of it out. But like you may have seen some information about some things I've started recently and such, and going really well. But there was so I started another agency. Long story short, we had a last minute pivot with that hurricane, a last minute pivot to try to sell Final Expense for basically a week, where we weren't supposed to be working, but agents wanted to make some money. They were displaced due to the hurricane, and I'm like, hey, listen, we can sell some Final Expense. Let's make it happen. And we did okay. I would not say that it was a learning experience. We'll put it that way. But I can promise you, we wouldn't have sold a single deal. I think we sold like 4 or 5 deals. We would have not sold one single policy if we did not have Final Expense Toolkits. I guarantee you that, because we were an absolute mess. But it was fun. It was fun.
Sorry about the background noise there. Tell us a little bit about recruiting. What have you found to be a very valid way to recruit and capture people that align with your business model?
I hate it. I hate recruiting. It's the most exhausting part of the business to me, to be honest with you. And it's been probably like the last year or so that I felt that way. But I can tell you that I wouldn't be recruiting at all. Well, I'm not recruiting at all. Like I'm not actively going out there and trying to recruit agents or anything like that. A lot of times, it comes to me. I got a text this morning. Hi, Brad. My name's David. Been watching your videos, and watching a few of your videos. Had some quick questions. Could you reach out? Right. So like that's how it happens, and that happens daily. And so, like I've said, I've put the content on the back burner a little bit. I'm still releasing videos on my YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, still posting the socials, all of that stuff. It's not, it's on the back burner, not because it's not important. It's probably one of the most important things that I do. So we're not stopping it. We're not backing it down. I'm just staying where I'm at, and I've kind of put it on autopilot a little bit. But I think that from a recruiting perspective, like the best thing that you can do is do it yourself, prove the concept, right? And then tell your story. So whether that be friends, whether that be, I mean, my newest agency, we've got, I think we're up to 16 agents. We've got 12 agents in the office physically. Of those 12, I believe probably half of them came from resumes. So about maybe 6 came from resumes. The other 6 were just referrals. I was on the golf course one day. I'm like, yeah, man, if you know anybody young, can hustle, like I'm starting another agency, be a great fit for somebody that can sell. Ended up meeting one guy. He connected me with a couple other guys, and shout out to these guys. I mean, they're absolutely crushing it. I mean, I think every one of them is going to be over 20, 25 enrollments for Medicare enrollments this week. So absolutely slamming it. And they all came from warm referrals. So I really think it comes from networking and, and just giving value to the marketplace however that is, like whether it be training, whether it be telling your story, whatever. And obviously those people will reach out to you because really they're going to, you know, the right people are going to catch a vibe, right? Like they're going to be like, yo, I like this guy. They're going to reach out to you because they like you first. And that's going to be super helpful when it comes to recruiting. I'm so sick of seeing agents and agencies whore themselves out recruiting, like, yo, come join my team. We can help you do this. It's like, if you're saying that constantly, I don't really believe that you are doing it that well, because you would be busy with other shit. Excuse my French.
No, it's absolutely the truth. Talk to us about events a little bit. Why do you see value in being in the room with other people? Because sometimes that's right for the right agent, and sometimes agents just go to these things constantly and never do anything with the information.
Man, that's we could finish the podcast out just talking about this topic. It's funny because I'm a huge proponent of events. Love it. Love events. Wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. But I do think they've gotten out of control. On the same hand, like, I mean, go to 1 or 2, 3 a year, you know, that are meaningful. You know, if you want to go hang out with your friends, go hang out with your friends. You know, we can still write it off because we can talk about business or whatever. But like, I think that's more of what we're seeing is a lot of freaking hangouts, you know, like big, you know, motivation fests, which, you know, it is what it is. I love them though, as it pertains to, you know, valuable information, but I love them more. So like, I wouldn't go to an event for like, oh man, Chris Smith is speaking and he's like, you know, going to talk about building an agency. I got to hear it. Like, that would be valuable. I guarantee it. But I'm not there. Like, and maybe I'll pull one little nugget from it, but I'm there to connect and build relationships, because everything that I have today has come out of a really solid relationship. I'm very, 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 very thankful and blessed with everything I've got going on right now, because I don't want to say I didn't earn it, but I didn't fully earn it, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I was given quite a bit just because of good relationships through networking and building a brand around myself first, and then scaling that over to the agency side.
Makes sense. What would you say your biggest agency or niche market is right now? Maybe someone's watching that doesn't know who you are or what you do. Can you talk about your biggest niche right now?
Yeah, man. I can't go into like an extreme amount of depth because of just what I've got going on, but I can tell you, it's under 65 health, right? Always has been, always will be. That's really where my passion is. One of the reasons why we're continuing to push that content, and we won't stop posting on Tuesday and Thursday. We won't stop, you know, posting my socials, because I do feel like, and, you know, I'm kind of coming into this more lately. You know, I used to be maybe like a cocky type of person. And then like I've dialed it way back, and now I feel like I'm coming into like myself of just like a massive amount of like confidence in me, the value that I bring to the industry. And so I feel like I put under 65 on the map, right? I really do. Like, I feel like before I came around talking about it, there was very little talk about it. And of course, the industry is shifting a little bit because of the things going on in the ACA and all of that. But before all that happened, I was preaching under 65 health, under 65 health. There's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity. And so now I'm hearing it come up more and more and more, which I love, but I will continue to stay on the top of that spectrum, right? And under 65 health. So ACA, I think is taking up a bigger chunk of it now, that market share. But, you know, there's still plenty of opportunity on the private side as well. And I mean, I'm the Tom Brady of under 65 health insurance, no doubt.
I like it. I like it. One more good question for you this morning. If you knew something now that you wish you had known in the very beginning, like, what would you tell your past self today? Like, something you know that you wish you would have known from the very beginning.
Man, I'm so glad you asked this question, because honestly, it was like in my head to say this, but I just couldn't figure out where it would tie in when you asked about, you know, the biggest aha moment. because it wasn't the biggest aha moment. But one of the things that I wish that I would have known and started, and you know, here's the thing: when you get an insurance, you're a salesperson, right? You're not a business operator. You're not a business owner. Like most people, right? You may just start an agency. Like your background may be more business oriented. So like you start it as it's an actual business, but majority of agents start as a salesperson, right? And every bit of income they have come, every bit of commission they have come in is their income, right? And that's not the reality of actually running a business, right? I have multiple businesses. Those businesses all generate a ton of revenue. If I wanted to count all of that revenue as my income, I could say I have a pretty sick income, but that's not true. So like delaying gratification and income, right, or money is so big. Like, so I would tell agents, or I would tell my past self to take more time, like take less out of the business, like take less home, make less money, live below my means, and invest. Because I do well now, but I can look back and I can say for sure, if I would have done this, and this differently, or if I would have done just what I'm talking about a little bit better, I'd be so much further along than where I actually am right now.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that, although wouldn't even dare compare myself to you in the business, is for the first 2 years, I didn't add any expenses, didn't buy a new car, didn't really add to the mortgage or the rent, didn't all of a sudden add a bunch of luxury expenses. It was make money, stockpile money. And then anytime I added an expense, it was, well, I need to add and increase my goal, add another agent, add something else that compensates for this, not just add a debt and not add an income to balance it out. Colton,
For sure.
I'll ask the same question to you and to Joe before we wrap here. If you knew something today that you wish you could tell yourself from the beginning, what would that be?
Would have been to start cross-selling health insurance on day one, or pretty close to day one. That would have been what I would have told myself at 18. So it's my own opinion, but what I would have done.
Yeah. Colton, same thing for you. What would you have done differently? Like if you knew it today, you would have told yourself in the past.
There's kind of two things I was trying to think of which one I would do more, but I would say it would be to find somebody who is that I could just get as close as I could to, that's doing it, that's been there, that's done it, that's gone through the ups and the downs, and just get as close as I can to them and just mirror what they've done. You know, listen to them, implement, because I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is just, oh, I can do it, but my way is going to be better. I think finding someone who's doing it on a high level successfully and just getting as close as I possibly can to them. And then the second thing that's kind of part of that is taking a little more time to understand leads and how they work with my business. I think if I could have understood those two things and put more time to those in the beginning, could have kind of sped up some of the hurdles that I went over. So I would say that getting incredibly close to a mentor who's rock solid, and then taking a little more time to be about my business and care about leads and where they're coming from, and that whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One more for you, Brad. Someone's watching this today who doesn't realize they're really as good as they are. Like they have too much self-doubt. They haven't had that aha moment yet, but they have everything it takes. They've got the skills, they've got the investment in the business, they've got a good mentor. They just need to realize they're really as good as they think they are. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say you're probably in the wrong system, right? We see it all the time in professional sports. An athlete goes from one team and one system to another team, especially in college football. You know, you've got backup quarterbacks, you've got backup running backs, whatever it might be. Go to another team and just absolutely light it up. And so there could be, right? If you really, and I got to be careful how I say this, because some people can just take this as like, you know, some agency hoppers out there can be like, I knew it. Yep. It's the freaking agency I'm in. It's not me. And that's not what I'm saying. But when you really, really look at and boil it down to hours, minutes, and seconds of your day, and you saying, listen, I could maybe not eat and make more calls for the 15 minutes that I was scarfing down that sandwich. But like outside of that 15 minutes that I took off, I was busting my ass for the last 10 hours. So it can't be my effort. I'm training, I'm buying leads, I'm doing the things that I need to do. Maybe then it's the system that you're a part of, or maybe it's the product that you're selling. And so again, don't listen to that and say, you know, okay, I've got to go find another agency to work with because the problem isn't me, it's them. However, systems matter, processes matter, right? Strategy matters, product matters. All that stuff is very important. And dude, there's a lot of freaking people that are out there trying to sling, you know, snake oil, right? Like you're selling shit and it's just hard to sell because it is shit. And so, or, you know, you don't have a system, you're knocking doors still when, you know, that's like, we're doing that in the 90s and, you know, bring yourself into today's age and make some freaking phone calls, you know, like, I don't care if people watching this that knock doors, no offense, but like, you cannot tell me that that's as efficient as making phone calls. It's just not, like, it's just not, period. So, you know, maybe it's a system. I would say analyze where you're at and, you know, go find a better partner. What Colton was saying is so freaking huge. And side note, comp isn't everything, right? Like, comp is not everything. It matters when there's massive volume, but 15 more percentage points on your 3 fucking policies you wrote isn't going to do anything for you. Like, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to matter. So if you're doing a massive amount of volume, sure, you know, go find a better deal. But that's not the problem. Comp isn't the problem. Go find a mentor, learn under them. And that's what I mean by a system, right? Somebody that has the ability to take you to where they've gone, right? And I don't believe that you can take somebody somewhere you've not been.
Very true. I can't deposit my commission schedule into the bank today if I took it there.
I love that. I've never heard that before, but you better believe you're going to hear it from me again. I will absolutely be using that one. That's great.
One of the resounding themes, if someone were to watch all 25 or 30 of these videos, is find a mentor that you believe in and run their system. And their system will work if you run it. And if you don't, it probably won't. But finding the right person to get around will definitely get you where you want to be. So we've got a few minutes left. Promote yourself.
But not as a nag or a pain in the ass. Like, that's not, like, I have people reach out to me that want to work with me that, like, we plug in and then they're disappointed that they didn't, that they're working with somebody that I trained and not me directly right away. And I'm not like big league. I'm not trying to, like, you know, be like, you know, oh, you can't talk to me because I'm busy. Like, I just literally am freaking in the middle of it. You know, it's just like, it's got a lot going on. I want to spend every second that I can with new agents, helping them. But like, you've got to bring value. Like, you've got to you got to show up ready. Like, I listen to Alex Ramosi a lot, and he was talking about like how to, like, getting a job and like sending out 150 resume to 150 places, but personalizing that to the place. Like, I get stupid messages like, you know, hey, can you help me sell ACA? Like, dude, I mean, come on, help me help you. Like, yes, this is like so inefficient. Give me your backstory. Tell me what you're doing. Like, just help me help you. And so finding a mentor is important, but you're not going to if the mentor is good, they won't have time for you if you're not producing at a pretty high level or a decent level. And if they do, you should be concerned. Like, you should be like, well, maybe he's not as successful as he looks on social media, right? Like, that's the reality of it. I truly believe that.
Be mindful of what you believe. Just because it's posted on Facebook doesn't always mean it's the 100% truth. I think that's also a good takeaway from what you read out there. So we got 2 minutes left. Give some promotion about yourself if someone wanted to contact you, and just highlight yourself with the next minute we have left.
Don't contact me. No, I'm just kidding. You can get bradhannon.com is a great way. You know, that, like, I'm just in this like interesting season where some of the things that I'm working on will be like fully released probably the beginning of next year and whatnot. And at that time will be the right time. But like, in the meantime, I'm happy to connect, reach out, like, plug in. We're always taking agents. So it's not like I'm saying like, hey, we're not taking any agents, whatever. But I'm like, again, going back to what I was saying before, just, you know, help me help you. If you're looking for guidance or help or whatever, or maybe just a new business model, you know, I would love to chat with you, but help me help you. Go to bradhannon.com. As far as promotion, man, I'm kind of over it. Like I got nothing to promote. I got nothing to sell you. You know, I got everything to give, nothing to take right now. And unfortunately, there's far too many that are taking a lot in this industry that need to give more. And so I'm trying to do that kind of behind the scenes, low key. But watch out, because there's some big things on the horizon.
Outstanding. Couldn't have said it better. Again, thank you for being on, taking the time out of your business to give it towards ours and the community, giving content to those that watch. Like the video, subscribe to the video, comment below so somebody sees this that didn't even know they needed to see it today. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.